Climate change is a global, environmental, and economic issue. If we want a stable, secure future that is prosperous for generations to come, we must choose to act and act now. If we want economies to prosper in a world with climate change, we must choose to act now. If we want businesses to remain relevant and profitable in a carbon-constrained world, we must choose to act now. Governments alone cannot meet the climate change crisis. The private sector, business, and investors must work with governments at all levels to create an orderly transition to a new model for growth and development. Offsetting is a valid way to reduce global carbon emissions quickly and cost-effectively.
So we were inspired to get involved in carbon offsetting because regardless of how much we can do internally in terms of initiatives to reduce our carbon emissions as a business, we can never totally eliminate them.
First of all, it's about our responsibility, that we are responsible for our behavior and the things we do as an organization.
We are a business and therefore we have to be able to demonstrate the business case for whatever we do. The robust data that's part of the carbon offset project helps us demonstrate the value for money to the business, but also the positive environmental impacts that the projects have, as well as creating a sustainable legacy.
If we could deliver a carbon neutral paper product to the market that also had a range of other social and environmental attributes to that product, we would be different. And we can maintain and leverage that difference to actually win more business, and that's what we've seen happen.
If we wanted to go further than just reducing our own carbon emissions, what kind of budgets, what kind of reductions did we need to make to become carbon neutral? So in addition to having a budget internally for looking at energy efficiency measures and on-site renewables, we also put together at the same time a budget around carbon neutrality and ensured that at the same time as investment internally, we could invest externally to become carbon neutral.
The process involved 3 key steps. We had to first understand and measure the emissions and then reduce them wherever possible, and then implement an effective mitigation strategy to take care of the remaining emissions.
Is the ending part of our sustainability program, which starts from an effort in reducing the carbon emissions. To reach a zero emission product, we need to offset the remaining emissions.
The process involved us actually analysing the footprint of our entire supply chain and looking at our most carbon intensive suppliers, and our paper suppliers were definitely very carbon intensive. So the decision was quite a mechanical decision. These are our most carbon intensive suppliers. These are a hotspot in our supply chain, if you like. Let's focus on those. Let's focus our resources and efforts on reducing that huge intensity to make the biggest impact and get best bang for buck for the organisation.
When you offset, you learn much more about your own company and what your carbon footprint is as an organisation. You measure your carbon footprint. You then have to reduce your carbon emissions before you offset, because not many offset providers would work with an organisation that couldn't show that. And then you look at offset projects that would engage your employees further in your environment strategy and choose those projects to communicate and engage them in a very engaging way around environmental issues and the importance to reduce carbon emissions.
When we were putting together our case for offsetting, we faced a few challenges. One was getting to grips with the exact amount of carbon we were generating and monitoring that on a regular basis.
Obviously, as you continue to be carbon neutral, you are always going to have challenges with respect to how you spend your budget, how do you spend your money, and whether it's worth spending your money, and focusing on the internal reductions that you can do as an organisation, or whether you spend it externally with respect to offsets. But to me, they come hand in hand. You can't you can't reduce your emissions totally, and you have to keep that carbon offsetting part of your strategy.
The main challenges we faced along the way were two. The first was to find out an offsetting program connected with our business. The second was to find an offsetting project with co-benefit. It means a project with a positive impact on CO2 emissions and on social and economic status of people involved.
It's very difficult to explain to somebody what a ton of carbon looks like. So we always had that challenge. The benefits that we've seen through being able to attach and measure the lives improved from the projects that we use to reduce our carbon means that anybody that we talk to has a better understanding of the impact that the projects actually create. We've been very proud of our offset programme. It's helped engage our employees throughout the business and is able to demonstrate in a practical way how we're tackling climate change and the benefits that provides.
The Olympic brand has helped us to convene people and to start the dialogue about greenhouse gas emissions. We have seen the excitement from our customers that can be farmers, can be people who work in the building sector, to start the discussion and to start implementing lower carbon solutions.
To offset our emissions, we looked at a number of projects where we could offset. We then involved our staff to work out which projects were most important to them, and then we split our offsetting between the top three.
I think we are making not only a difference to the environment, but we're also making a difference to the communities that we're investing in. The most noticeable impact on our business directly has been engagement from our staff in the stories associated with our carbon offset projects. And the other benefits associated with this, the carbon offset projects, are the financial benefits for the organisation. Our sustainable paper actually accounts for over $80 million of revenue for the organisation on an annual basis.
We are making a difference by implementing such a program, not only because we take climate change into account, but also because we prove we can do it while staying competitive.
The biggest impact on the business has been the behavior of our customers. We export the 80% of our production, mainly in US and North Europe, where people are very aligned with our philosophy of sustainability.
Since we've been offsetting our carbon, I think a positive impact has been our ability to win business with our clients who are increasingly putting importance on environmental credentials and emissions.
If you ask anything with respect to our bigger picture programme or sustainability programme at Sky, people will still say, and our employees will still say, that we are a carbon neutral organisation, and I'm very proud of that. And it's not just our own employees, it's also our suppliers.
I would advise other companies to start to understand the footprint of their products and services, and then to make sure that the benefits they create in society outweigh that footprint, so that their net impact is positive.
I would certainly advise other companies to embrace offsetting because it's a win-win project. It permits positive action in low development countries, and it permits developed countries to increase competitiveness.
The question if I would advise other companies to embrace offsetting is not relevant to me. It's not a choice at all. We have already reached the tipping point and the climate change is real. And we have to keep the change limited. And offsetting is a natural way to take that responsibility to make the world a better place.
I would definitely advise other companies to investigate carbon offsetting. It's something that has really motivated our staff, and it's something really nice that we can talk about with our clients.
It's not just about having long-term sustainable business. It's about being able to build resilient communities on which our companies rely.
We're all in this together.